This morning, we'll get right to that breaking news, the desperate search and rescue efforts that are continuing to try to find survivors after tornadoes left dozens dead in Kentucky and surrounding states. 5 states have reported fatalities following this rare December tornado outbreak. From the air, you can see the devastation left behind, and survivors say they're just starting to pick up the pieces.
I heard the wind, but I didn't hear any roar or anything. I didn't hear anything like that. And everything collapsed. I just wanted to get out. I didn't worry about what I was.
What do you think when you drove through here and saw?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. You know, it's just total destruction. It's unbelievable to see. You know, you see it on the news, but till it touches you at home, you just don't realize how heartbreaking it is.
It was the most incredible thing I've ever been through. And we are blessed. God protected us. We prayed, you know, before it all happened. And in just seconds, it was over. And so that's the hardest thing probably to get your head wrapped around, is that everything is gone so fast.
You just heard it sound like a freight train going. Our curtain went up. All you seen was a little funnel going like that.
I turned around to sit down in the closet, and the window blew out, and the whole wall just blew in toward me. My bed flew up in the air, so if I'd have been in that bed, you know, it would have been really hurt. So, yeah, just really scary.
I heard the train coming. You know, they say that sounds like a freight train, so I heard the train coming. And I just hunkered down and stayed there for a little bit until it passed, and then I was stuck. I was trapped in my bedroom for 2 hours until they came.
We're digging through and finding a few pictures, a few personal items. We were very fortunate in that they did have a vault built when they built this building, and so all of the paper, the hard copy records are in there, you know, everything important.
It is heart-wrenching, but, you know, it's happened before, and it's going to happen again. So.
You have your life.
Yeah. At 70, I got to start over again.
My cars are damaged, all my cars are my home. So, but they're replaceable. Everything here is replaceable but your life.
With entire neighborhoods leveled, rescue workers are now working to find and save people who may still be trapped underneath the rubble. Yeah, hundreds of homes and businesses were damaged or destroyed. And of course, time is of the essence during the search for survivors. We want to bring in NBC News Now correspondent Dasha Burns from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and NBC News correspondent Kathy Park. She's in Mayfield, Kentucky. Good morning to both of you. Kathy, I'll start with you. So we heard a lot about this one particular candle factory that's in Mayfield where you are that was flattened by the tornado with workers inside. Tell us about the significance of this factory, how things are looking this morning, and what the search for survivors has been like there.
Well, Savannah, good morning to you. This candle factory is about 2 miles from where we are in downtown Mayfield, and it was in the direct path of this tornado. We were out there this weekend, and I can tell you it really is just a mountain of rubble right now. 110 people were inside of the factory when the tornado roared through. 40 people were rescued, but as of this morning, we know of at least 8 fatalities. Several people are still unaccounted for. And keep in mind, this is a very busy holiday season. Workers were pretty much working around the clock, working on these products and trying to pump them out in time to get them out for the Christmas deadline. We had a chance to speak with the CEO of this candle factory yesterday. I asked him how much advance warning did these workers get ahead of the storm. He said they followed all the protocols. Take a listen. People are wondering, how much advance warning did your employees get?
You know, this building was a strong manufacturing building. And, you know, we went to the walls, or they went to the walls that were solid and
reinforced.
Concrete, reinforced, steel. You know, when you look around, I mean, this storm is just something that is, again, unimaginable, because I don't know what could have survived this.
And guys, rescue crews have been out ever since the tornado blew through this community. I spoke with one firefighter, and he said that they are literally walking on the top of the roof of the candle factory right now, looking for any sign of life. But really, the governor, Andy Beshear, was saying it's going to be a miracle if they pull anyone out alive at this point. You have emergency responders pretty much coming in from all across the state as they continue to hopefully find more people. Guys?
Can only hope that happens. Dasha, you're in Bowling Green, also one of the hardest hit areas. Tell us what you're seeing there.
Hey, Joe, Savannah, good morning. Yeah, Bowling Green, 11 people have died in this community. At least 500 homes damaged, at least 100 businesses damaged. And that's just what we know right now. It's pitch black this morning. A lot of people are still without power. And in fact, even just our crew driving in and getting here, it was really difficult. A lot of roads still blocked off because it's dangerous. Still power lines down, still a lot of debris on the road. And it's also about 28 degrees here right now, guys, so you can imagine for people without power right now what that could mean. It's too dangerous for me to walk you around to show you the extent of the damage here, but you can see in this home behind me, this is the home of Bob Newman. He's lived here for more than 50 years. He was sitting in that living room there. That's no longer a living room. It's no longer anything really. And remarkably, he was able to get under his doorway in the middle there and survive with just a few scratches. His neighbor came and helped to dig him out. But guys, everywhere you turn here, there's more devastation, more harrowing stories, people hiding in crawl spaces, people hiding in closets, and then waking up to a town that is completely transformed and really unrecognizable to people, guys.
Absolutely. And I know, Kathy, you've been on the ground in Kentucky since Saturday, right after this happened. You've been in Mayfield, where you are now, and Bowling Green, where Dasha is. How's the community as a whole responding?
Savannah, I can tell you, I was really struck by, the resiliency, but also the kindness. You have people who have not been directly impacted by this tornado, but they traveled near and far to offer any sort of help. You saw them out there yesterday. I was in Bowling Green, where Dasha is right now, and it really is just a massive operation to literally pick up the pieces and begin the rebuilding process. People are offering food and supplies. You have emergency responders who haven't slept. They've been working around the clock. Their mission is to find all those people who are still unaccounted for.
Dasha, if you live in Kentucky, then that means you are no stranger to tornado sirens and to storms. But I know you've been speaking with folks who say this was different. Why is that?
Yeah, everyone I've spoken to here says this is unlike anything they've ever experienced. The description of the storm itself, what it felt like in that moment, is so jarring, you guys. Everyone I talked to talked about how it felt like multiple freight trains coming towards them. That roaring sound was a descriptor I heard a lot. People smelling oil and gas afterwards, and just the world sort of trembling underneath them as they just hoped and prayed that they would be okay. I want you to hear from one of the residents I spoke with, Deborah Yarberry, about her experience. Take a listen.
We were going to die.
Oh my God.
I thought this was it. And it was so fast, it was just over. And as soon as it was over, immediate calm. And we just sit there, and I looked there and I said, what do we do? And I said, at first thing I said, we survived. My neighborhood isn't going to be the same, and the town isn't going to be the same.
But to Kathy's point, same thing. I mean, we're seeing people from all across the state coming here, not only with food and water, but with their own chainsaws to help clear the debris from here, bringing their trucks, bringing any tools that they have to assist in the cleanup and to help people try and rebuild and recover, guys.
Community coming together. All right, Dasha, Kathy, thank you both so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Another community hit hard by the tornado outbreak is Hopkins County, Kentucky. That's about 90 miles from Mayfield. Rescue crews are working around the clock to try and find survivors there after hundreds of homes were damaged or destroyed. We're joined this morning by Jack Whitfield Jr., who's the judge executive of Madisonville, which is in Hopkins County. Jack, thank you for taking time to join our show this morning. I know you've got a lot you're dealing with right now. First, just tell us what it's like on the ground there where you are. What are you seeing, and how are you doing this morning?
It's on the ground here. It's devastating. Just never seen anything like it. I had some people from the National Weather Service here yesterday that have been doing this for 37 years, and showed them some of the damage, and they said they've never seen anything like this. It was just a storm like we've never seen before, on the ground for over 220 miles total. And it was just devastating to several communities. The damage done was just awesome in scope and devastation.
Jack, what is your biggest concern right now? What is your top priority?
You know, our top priority right now is still the search and rescue or recovery efforts. That's what we'll concentrate on again today, and getting the people that have been displaced taken care of and moved somewhere where they can be safe and warm and fed.
How have those efforts gone so far? Have you found anyone, say, in the last 24, 30 hours or so? Are you optimistic that you still can try and rescue someone who might be trapped beneath rubble?
That optimism has gone down, you know, to be honest. We think at this point it will be more of a search and recovery effort rather than rescue. You know, just when you see the damage that was done, it's hard to imagine how anybody could survive in any of those homes. In addition to now, you know, we've had some time pass. The temperatures have been in the upper 20s at night. And we've gone through all of the homes several times already, including with dogs searching for people. So we're going to do another search today throughout the whole area that was affected. And hopefully we can find some survivors. But honestly, right now, it's probably more of a recovery effort.
This is, I'm guessing, the most powerful storm you've ever seen. How are you? How is the community dealing with all of the destruction right now?
It is the most powerful storm I've ever seen. The community, you know, here in Hopkins County, we come together as a community and across Kentucky and really across several states. We have had people coming from all over the area to help, to volunteer, to bring supplies, just to do anything that they can to help. So our community is coming together, but knowing that we've got so many people that are hurting, that are displaced, that are missing loved ones right now.
Jack Whitfield, we are thinking of your community, especially as you continue these search and rescue efforts today, and we're holding out hope for you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We're also learning new information about the victims who died when part of an Amazon warehouse collapsed during those tornadoes. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky joins us now from Edwardsville, Illinois, at the site of that collapse. Morgan, good morning. So describe exactly what you're seeing there. Tell us kind of what part of the building collapsed and just what you're seeing on the ground there this morning in Edwardsville.
Yes, Savannah, good morning. And it has been a very active past 48 hours here in Edwardsville, just northeast of St. Louis. I'm standing in front of a warehouse that is left standing. The one adjacent to it is not. There's been a wide perimeter created by authorities here as crews are trying to go through that debris and clear the area as quickly yet as safely as possible. Now, important to note, officials said yesterday they do not believe that any employees are still missing inside that pile of debris that the tornado reduced this building to. This warehouse about the size of a football field, and yet it collapsed walls and the roof in just a few seconds when it struck late on Friday. We know that the death toll increased to 6 over the weekend. Those individuals have now been identified. Meanwhile, officials say that they were able to rescue 45 others from inside that collapsed building in the minutes after this tornado struck. Savannah?
And Morgan, tell us what you have learned about those victims, those 6 people who passed away in the collapse.
Well, I mean, their stories are absolutely heartbreaking. We're learning more about Clayton Cope. He was a 29-year-old Navy veteran who had been working here at Amazon for about a year. He worked the exact same shift or same job as his father, but they had opposite shifts. So if he wasn't here that night, his father would have been here. And I had a chance to speak to his mother yesterday. Take a listen.
You could tell that the building, the whole roof on the south end had collapsed on the building, which is exactly where my son would have been if he wasn't in the safety shelter. About 4:30 in the morning, I think it was the Wood River Fire Chief and the coroner came to the car. And told us they had located a body with his driver's license.
And his mother tells me that the only thing she knows about those final moments is that Clay spent them trying to get others to shelter, She says that she takes solace in the fact that she had a phone conversation with him a few minutes before the storm struck, and she told him that she loved him.
Oh,
Savannah?
Wow, just harrowing details there, heartbreaking. And also, Morgan, do we know anything about how Amazon's responding to what happened over the weekend?
Well, there have been staff on site kind of throughout this process. We do know that they made a $1 million donation to a local Edwardsville charity to help everyone impacted by this storm. I did speak to one representative for the company regarding the response in the moments prior to the tornado. We were told that employees essentially broke up into two groups inside the warehouse to head to shelter areas. Now, to be clear, this is not necessarily a safe room or a basement, but more protected areas inside the building, one on the north side, one on the south side. It was on the south side that the tornado struck, and here's what the representative had to say about the response.
Yeah, in this particular facility, we had employees who were sheltering in two different parts of the facility. In the northern part of the facility, which is an area up near the office space, and then on the sort of more southern side. And unfortunately, the tornado, when it hit the building, it hit right in the space where they were sheltering. Those folks who lost their lives Friday night were a part of our family, too. We're heartbroken. We intend to assist those families in every way we can, and we're looking forward to talking to them about what they need from us.
And this morning, crews will be back out here on the scene, going through that debris. There is no definitive timetable on how long it will take before this area is clear. Savannah, Joe, will send it back to you.
All right, Morgan Chesky in Illinois for us. Powerful reporting, Morgan. Thank you so much.
We do want to check on your morning news now. Weather, the tornadoes devastated communities in 6 states in all over the weekend, leaving this trail of devastation. And now it's guessed more than 100 people dead.
Yeah, of course, that means Bill Cairns is here with us, as you can see. Bill, so how strong were these tornadoes? And is it unusual to see storms like this in the month of December? Just kind of walk us through what we just saw.
Yeah, I will. Good morning, guys. And, tornadoes and the destruction afterwards, it's almost like any other disaster. It's almost like an airplane crash or a bombing, or it's so sudden, and it just interrupts the lives of everyone affected instantly. Everything's changed. It's not like a hurricane. A hurricane's coming and it's barreling in and you can evacuate. When you get these tornadoes like this, especially these strong ones, which we saw Friday night, even people that were in their shelters that had warning, in a lot of cases just couldn't survive winds that were this extreme. We've seen houses that were just wiped off their foundations, just nothing left. So let me get into it. So where Morgan was located, we know that the storm survey from the Amazon warehouse is what we call an EF3 tornado. It was at the top end of that scale. So that is up to 165 mile per hour winds. And that's how strong they said the winds were at the Amazon facility. Most of the pictures and a lot of the pictures you've seen have been Mayfield, Kentucky. We're still waiting for that rating to come out. They've said at least EF3, possibility almost up to an EF5. So we're going to find out officially in the days ahead, but it's extremely rare to get an EF5 if we have one, especially here in December. The last EF5 tornado we had, which is the most violent that it can be recorded, was Moore, Oklahoma, going back almost, 8 to 9 years now. We've only had 2 in our history. That is EF5 tornadoes in December. And the last one was like 64 years ago in Illinois. So yes, there is precedent. This has happened before, but you could see how extraordinarily rare it is. And the ingredients for this setup, we had record high temperatures on Friday in areas like Little Rock and Memphis. So that was the fuel for these storms. These temperatures, it hasn't been feeling like December. It's been feeling like October throughout much of the country. And so it's not a surprise that we had an outbreak like this, because we're seeing October type temperatures and humidities. The Gulf of Mexico has unusually warm air right now. And as far as climate change goes, we do know that the tornado alley appears to be shifting more towards Arkansas, Tennessee, and Mississippi. But we're not really seeing an increase overall in the country in the number of tornadoes or in the number of intense tornadoes. So we can't say because of climate change we're having more intense tornadoes like this. But we do know that with winter warming, you're going to have more ingredients in place to get these strong ones. So it's evolving research right now is what we're calling it for the climate. And as far as the forecast goes for the recovery efforts and the cleanup, it's actually sunny and mild for December. They're actually very fortunate. You know, you did hear the judge say it's been cold at night, which does mean if anyone was still trapped in temperatures in 20 degrees, it's hard to survive the nights. But the days have been warmer, and that's going to continue all week long. We're not really going to see much in the way of any more harmful weather, just a little bit of rain, guys, towards the end of the week. But, once in a 50, 60-year event took place Friday night, and incredible.
We're still, I think, wrapping our heads around everything that happened and trying to assess it all. Bill, thank you so much for everything you've done over the last few days. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.